The ocean is an incredible interconnected system of salt waterways that cover most of the Earth's surface and form 90% of our biosphere. The importance of its functions and systems cannot be overstated and has always been recognised by many of our Aboriginal peoples.
So the way Bachelor people view the ocean is much like if you to view it as your heart. Physically, you need your heart to pump your blood to every bit of your body, your fingers, your toes, your head. And the rivers, picture them as the arteries. They're the big main arteries going into the land. And when the heart beats, it push-pull, just like the ocean, high tide, low tide. Waves hitting the shore, waves retracting from the shore.
While the Bachelor people have always known about the importance of our oceans and its systems, it's something that many others are yet to learn.
One of the things people don't often realise is that every waterway is interconnected. We start with a small creek, becomes the stream, becomes the river, estuary, then out into the coast and then out into the ocean.
It doesn't matter if you're in the centre of Australia, it doesn't matter if you're on another continent, all of the oceans are connected. There's not just one ocean, and all of the land is connected through the ocean as well and through the water cycle.
Where does rain come from? It comes from moisture, which is extracted from the ocean to finally find its way to fall across land.
So every ecosystem and every ocean is connected.
It's not just this static, vast mass, it's this beautiful connected system. You've got all those layers and stratification, the deepest ocean trenches to that upper layer that we just see when we look upon that vast blue mass. For me, the ocean is just something so cryptic, so magical, so beautiful that we haven't even scratched the surface to understand yet.
I mean, you can't understand the Earth without understanding the oceans, really. You know, they make up the greatest proportion of the surface of the planet, but also they're just an essential part of its breathing system. So if we think of the Earth as this kind of Gaia meta-organisms, the oceans produce the oxygen that we breathe, or a large proportion of that.
So we actually get about 70% of the oxygen that we breathe from the ocean, and so that's coming from things like seagrasses and marine algae and all of that photosynthetic organic matter in the ocean. So every 2 of 3 breaths that we take is actually produced via the ocean.
Producing our oxygen is just one of the many functions our oceans perform. They also play a largely hidden but key role in the climate of our planet.
The oceans moderate our climate. There's actually an ocean current that does a complete global loop. It's called the thermohaline conveyor. It starts in the Arctic or the Antarctic, and it starts a global journey. It takes over 1,000 years. Cold water from the poles is brought to the equator, and the warm water from the equator ends up at the poles. So that actually stops us getting the extreme heat and cold on our land masses. If that current stops, it's quite possible we go into an ice age, because the temperatures are no longer being moderated by the ocean because it's just not flowing.
Not only does the ocean control our climate, generate over half of the air we breathe, and provide our drinking water, it also absorbs more than 30% of carbon emissions from fossil fuels, is the primary source of protein for over 3 billion people, and is the most biodiverse system in our planet. 90% of our biosphere is in the ocean. Scientists estimate that 91% of ocean species have yet to be classified, and 95% of the ocean remains unexplored. We know so little about our ocean, even though it's our very life force. We exist because of it.
Without our ocean, we wouldn't have balance. So when we start our songs and we're singing our songs, when we start singing our Yawaware, we are singing into the land, into our brothers and sisters that are in the land, where they live on the mountains but we live on the ocean. And that's our sort of story towards the mountain people, is that without us, our whole system wouldn't work. We need your fresh water to run off the mountain into our creeks and into our rivers and into our lakes, and then our ocean's truly like our heart. Yeah, it's physically emotionally, spiritually, our heart. Yeah, Garinanami.